Despair, the bane of hope. Comes a point where you just get tired of hearing yourself say the same thing over and over. Your friends get tired of it too. And I pretty much think everyone knows what they should be doing, but refuse to do it anyway. I can speak from my own experience and tell you that I have this conversation daily, and multiple times if I'm not doing the right things. And not only what you do, but what you think, and how that leads to your behavior and actions. Which sounds a lot like CBT. Well, CBT, as well as mindfulness, meditation, prayer, pretty much anything that asks you to pause and think about the thinking itself. So imagine these thoughts as a roommate in your head. They just keep going on and on about every little thing, and it's incredibly annoying. You would not be friends with this person if they were real. You would not even listen to them or even talk to them. So why do we listen to our thoughts constantly? Stop the automatic nonsense, the roommate in your head, and once you do, you realize your thoughts aren't real. What makes them real, what makes thoughts true, is the belief you attach to them, and consequently the actions you take afterwards. So real was what I choose to do. My actions in that moment, in this moment, in every moment. And that's why mindfulness or any form of meditation you enjoy doing is so powerful. Separate your thoughts and create positive actions. Mindfulness is the simplest truth of life, yet the hardest thing to do. Constantly practicing doing nothing while doing nothing is already the action itself. And so there's nothing to be done. That all sounds great, but what am I even talking about? Well, I was in my own head again, lost in despair, depression, and thinking all my efforts were pointless. But I got up and did something about it anyway. And after I worked out, I ate right, I meditated, I went on a walk with a friend, something inside started to flicker. But then I fell down again, and a thought captured me and put me in prison. But I had the key. I could let myself out, or continue to give my thoughts the weight and power that keeps me locked away. And this choice is something that can happen to you every day of your life. You are the warden to your own prison. My prison is almost always despair, because my belief is that hope is my greatest ally. And in this prison of despair, my thoughts tell me I'm not good enough. I shouldn't release this video. What do I know? What authority do I have to speak on the struggles of life? I'll just be alone forever, I'll never reach my dreams, and much, much worse. Yet, no matter what they say, a small flame remains. Even I know these thoughts aren't real, but they can still get to you, right? We're human after all. So like any emotion, positive or negative, we can channel it and use it as fuel. As Marcus Aurelius said, a blazing fire makes flames and brightness out of everything that is thrown into it. So, if you can't separate from your thoughts, use them as fuel. Let me tell you a story. I was going through a tough time emotionally last year around this time, and when you're depressed and you have suicidal thoughts, your actions can become incredibly reckless. It had rained the day before, the roads were a bit slick, and I was driving to work. I drive a Mazda RX-7. It's a fast, not very safe car, and there's this one portion of that drive that is a windy, tight country road. Well, I was driving pretty fast, around 55 to 65, speeding up, slowing down around these corners, and one of those curves was a lot tighter than I remembered. I speed past the corner, there's not a lot of visibility, my tires lose traction, and because of the rain, my car just starts sliding. And just ahead of me, a few car lengths away, is an oncoming SUV. I couldn't get back in my lane. Everything was just flashing before my eyes, and my body just moved on its own independently. I'm seconds from hitting his car, and my hands turned the wheel to the left with the momentum toward the car and past it, to the left side of the road. There just happened to be a small grass hill that my car swerved into, avoiding the crash, as I slammed on my brakes and sat there for a few minutes. It turns out, when you almost die, You want to live. You want to live real damn bad. That is the power your thoughts can have on your actions. They caused me to be reckless in that moment. But you don't need to almost die to see your thoughts have a massive influence on your actions. So let's get to the moral of the story. How do we stop despair in our thoughts? Remember first to unlock the cell door. You are the only one keeping yourself in prison. And so, my prison of despair is transformed into a school of hope. Hope is a catchy word. It implies there's no action you need to take to get into a better circumstance. I just hope it gets better. But that's not how I see hope at all. Hope is a story you tell yourself in order to take action. And a story has infinite power. Let me read you something I wrote in a book I'm writing. Stories are, in part, a reflection of reality. For instance, stories live on in humanity. Through stories, people and concepts achieve immortality. So we create tales of people saving people to remind ourselves there is hope. But hope has always been there, I argue, resting in all of us. Hope is something not lost, but simply unrecognized in the moment. It never leaves us, you see, because simply, it is you. Maybe it's optimistic, idealistic, the belief that hope is always with you, that it is you. But hope is whatever power you give it. Same as despair, same as any emotion. The more you feed into it, the more it's true. And I am incredibly susceptible to these particular emotions, because I am idealistic. I believe it's my duty to help the world and leave it better than the way it was when I was born into it. No one told me to go out and do that, but yet my heart doesn't shut up until I go out and try to create that change. So, as Gandhi said, be the change that you wish to see in the world. To preach about hope, I have to become an embodiment of hope. There are many people I've learned from in life, great mentors, who grant me so much hope for change, and I want to follow in their footsteps and lead people in the next generation to change their lives. And so, this is my oath for the world to hear. I am not my past, nor my future. I am who I choose to be in this moment. I am not my ego. I am my actions. I am a beacon of hope. I stand unwavering in my resolve. I am relentless in pursuit of what sets my spirit ablaze. My path is mine alone. Feelings are fleeting, but my principles remain, regardless of my situation.